Hello everyone, I'm a random YouTube geek and this is my first ever video. And as so many before me, I have decided to invest in a very popular YouTube genre, the rant. However, my rant is not going to broach any of the usual rant subjects. Rather, I am here to talk about a very specific individual with whom I have had a beef for quite a while now. He is a part of the World Wrestling Entertainment, and his name is Sheamus. Now, why do I have a problem with Sheamus? Quite simply because he's overrated. Many people say, oh, Sheamus is talented. And to those people, I say, have you ever seen a Sheamus match? I mean, seriously? Every single match that he's involved in is exactly the same. He's gonna be pitted against some opponent who is, of course, vastly superior to himself. And this is how the match is going to, say, John Morrison or R-Truth, and this is how the match is going to go. First, the more talented wrestler, the babyface if you will try to put in some early offense that will mostly be successful. Examples of this include John Morrison in his recent feud with Sheamus, and R-Truth, who has managed to put in quite a few acrobatic moves before he eventually lost. Because you see, that's what happens with every person that faces Sheamus. They lose. And they always lose in the same way. So the match is going on, and the babyfaces managed to put in some pretty decent offense, probably making Sheamus look good in the process. And then after about 5-7 minutes, there's gonna be someone trying to go up to the top turnbuckle and jump off, only to eat a big boot. That's what always happens. I mean, before Sheamus probably had a couple of moves. This is how it usually goes. There's somebody, the babyface, as I said, is on the offense, then probably Sheamus is gonna do a takedown to break up that offense. Then maybe another takedown or a suplex or a slam or something to just cement his lead dominiership. Sorry, and then what I mentioned is inevitably going to happen. The babyface is going to go up on the top turnbuckle, try to jump off, only to eat a big boot. And then, what's gonna happen? He's gonna eat another big boot, he's gonna get pinned, and Sheamus will have another undeserved victory in his curriculum. Seriously, this is how this guy rose to the top of the ranks of the WWE and eventually became King of the Ring, with 2 takedowns and 2 big boots. Of course, there's this finisher, the Celtic Cross, which is an admittedly flashy looking move, but even then, it doesn't excuse his limited moveset of 2 takedowns and 2 big boots per match. Okay, but this isn't the only problem that I have with Sheamus. Another problem that I have with Sheamus is the fact that he lacks charisma, he's slow, and he's clunky, and he's one of the school of wrestlers that I hate the most, the ones I call the Triple H school of wrestlers, which are, as I said, slow, clunky, boring, non-charismatic, and still manage to be fan favorites or at least champions. I mean, Wade Barrett is another recent example of this. He's boring. I mean, if you people think Cena's bad, what about Sheamus? What about Barrett? They're awful. Come on. I'd much rather watch R-Truth versus Evan Bourne any day rather than watch these guys fight. Even Cena. I'd rather watch Cena than watch these guys. I wouldn't go as far as to say that I would rather watch Hornswoggle and Great Khali rather than these guys, but, you know, they're just about on a par with Hornswoggle and Great Khali. Okay, so that's what I had to say about Sheamus. He's boring, he's overrated, his moveset's extremely limited, he's slow, he's clunky, he's not talented, and the only reason why he's looking good and getting belts and being the champion is because he's being pitted against adversaries better than himself, such as R-Truth, John Morrison, and Evan Bourne. Now, before I go, I must address one thing. Those of you who follow the WWE, even if not so closely, such as myself, might have seen a amazing event a few weeks back involving Sheamus. And I mean, an awesome event, one of the most awesome things I've watched in my wrestling watching career. Sheamus jobbed to Santino. That's right, Santino, the comedy wrestler, beat Sheamus. Now, this actually made me give Sheamus a couple of points because it must be embarrassing to lie down to Santino, and yet Sheamus did it, and he was gracious about it, and he actually worked towards the feud, which is still going on, and he gave way to the another of the most awesome things I've ever seen in wrestling, the Tea Party. Now, the Tea Party is something I will address in another rant because I am part of an E-Fed, and I have reasons to believe that the E-Fed I am part of is being watched by the creative team of the WWE. However, that is for another rant. Now, right now we're talking about Sheamus, and that particular bit of Sheamus' career was awesome. Those 2 weeks were fantastic. But other than that, Sheamus is overrated and slow and boring to watch, like I said. And I don't like him. And I don't see why people like him, but I suppose there's no accounting for opinion. I believe the WWE would be much better off with just cruiserweights rather than these big chunky guys. But who am I to talk? I mark out the show. Anyway, this was what I had to say about Sheamus. Now that I have said my piece, I won't bore you anymore with my ramblings. This is Pete Vicious, Lord Vicious, signing off.